It's the Dr. Guido Show! Starring Dr. Guido. This week, Dr. Guido talks about the readings from The Art of Possibility. And now, from the Laboratory of Knowledge, here is Dr. Guido!
Hey, Dr. Guido here. Talk about week 3 readings, right? Just got done with them, and let me tell you something. Perplex doesn't even begin to explain how my mind is feeling right now. I'm all over the freaking place. And, here's why. I got a kid, little Dr. Guido. And little Dr. Guido's 2.5 years old. He's a beautiful kid. He's a smart kid. And, today's reading makes me think about my kid and my son, And a lot of things happened this weekend, and a lot's going on, and I've experienced a lot of things this weekend that made me think about my son. And in looking at my son and looking at little Dr. Guido, one of the things that I was thinking is, he's like a bowl of clay, this kid, and he looks around at me and Mrs. Dr. Guido, and he looks to learn from us on how we do things and what we do. And, a lot of things with my son that I want to instill in him are the values that I have. You've seen Dr. Guido make sauce. You've seen Dr. Guido talk about cheating and why it's wrong, And you heard about some of the mistakes Dr. Guido's made in his life and some of the things Dr. Guido has done wrong. And these are the things that have led me to want to raise my kid the way he is. And, don't get me started on how people raise kids nowadays, but I think in some ways, kids need to learn how to fail. And I think that's very important. And one of the things I ask myself is, do we teach kids how to fail? I don't think we do. Very often we want to teach kids how to succeed. And I don't mean teach kids how to fail and fail them on purpose, but do we teach them how to deal with failure? And this week's readings, I know, reading some of the other people's blogs, it was very inspirational to them. But it made me think, do we teach kids how to overcome failure and allow them to make them successful? Like Dr. Guido with this AR project, he's really enjoying doing the cheating. But in looking at it, I think there's other things Dr. Guido could have done that could have been more powerful or more motivating or more moving. But then when you think about it, wasn't that the whole purpose of this thing? All right, so I'm doing this action research on cheating. I think there's other areas I can do action research in. So when I'm done with this here program at Full Sail with Mr. Figuera, we're going to go do more action research on other things like social media in the classroom. I'm thinking about training teachers and motivating teachers to use Web 2.0 technologies. And, there's a lot that I've been inspired to do. So maybe that's not a bad thing. And, with the AR thing, I've been, drowning kind of like a pirate. Arr, I'm drowning this month. Arr, in the AR. But in this week's readings, they really got me thinking, what motivates my students, And a lot of people want to sit here and say negative things about the kids. And, being a teacher, it's easy. Faculty lounge-itis, you don't go into the faculty lounge because, teachers sometimes a lot of negativity in there. I'm not saying that's a general statement about education, no one Dr. Guido's been specifically, but you go into, sometimes we want to say these kids don't want to learn, they're lazy, they just, they just want to get, take the easy way out. And yes, that's true. Some of them, you heard me talk about that last week. But I think these kids want to be motivated to be successful and motivated to do great things. This week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and Dr. Guido had some kids. Some kids made Dr. Guido brownies. Some kids gave Dr. Guido a nice book about sports because they know how Dr. Guido likes the Yankees. I think these kids want to be motivated to be successful. And, being teachers, we done chose this job for a reason, right? And if you choose this job just because you like to have summers off and leave work at 2 o'clock, then you know what? Quit now. Forget about it. Go work at McDonald's or something. Because education's about going and changing kids' lives and being motivated to go out and change kids' lives. Teaching isn't about taking the easy way out. And this week's readings, they make me think about that. I almost didn't, speak to you guys there. I was going to type this out, but I said, doing these readings, I got motivated. I got to come and share with you. I read about these kids, Jackie and her lessons with wanting to play the instrument. I think about young Dr. Guido. And I think about different ways we can go out and motivate and teach these kids to be great. And I think that's what we got to do. And I think sometimes as educators, we take that for granted. We got to go out and think about ways in which we could change the world. And not us changing the world. The great thing is we don't need to change the world. We just need to go out and use the tools to change the world. In a lot of ways, our tools are the kids. And, as teachers, we sometimes wonder, am I doing, am I helping these kids? Am I doing good? We hit roadblocks. We hit things. I talked to Mr. Figuera about some of the roadblocks he encountered this year. But when you think about it, if we go out, and this is serious Dr. Guido moment, serious Dr. Guido time, if we think about how we can help these kids, and we think about being motivated, we think about what a great blessing it is, and what a great calling it is to be a teacher, we go out and do powerful things. And this is what I think, and this is what the readings made me think this week. All right, so I'm Dr. Guido. This is Dr. Guido's show. You teachers, get out there, change the world, go do something. All right, I'm out. I'll talk to you later.